Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like it, if you're being yourself, fuck them.
Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
And welcome to another episode of The Noize. If you haven't yet, go ahead and follow us on the big three, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Noize Podcast. And of course, follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. My guy, Kev.
What's going on?
How are you, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. How you feeling?
I'm alive, you know.
that's a plus.
I'm a little tired. You know what I've discovered about myself? I need like one day of absolute nothingness. I've said it at least 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, but I don't think that ever happens.
It's happened before. It's happened once.
For the duration of the day or for a moment?
That's a good question, actually. I'll get back to you with that one. But like, I realized this because, first of all, I can never fucking sleep in, and I'll get to that in a second. But I realized that when a couple of days ago, I fell asleep early,
Mm-hmm.
probably like 9:30, and I would sleep for like 12 hours, and still was tired
Because you slept too much.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, nah. I need more of that. It was
That's
crack.
what you think. That's what you think. But I'm pretty sure if you would have like slept regular, maybe woke up and then took a nap, probably would have been straight. But straight, it can tire you out.
Bruh, that sleep was pure uncut work.
I believe it.
It was everything.
I believe it.
It was everything that I needed it to be. And I felt really bad coming out of it. You know when you come out of that good sleep, you kind of
when you wake up, that, or when you wake up like, where the fuck am I? Oh, I'm home.
Right, this is my shit. Okay, got you. So anyway, speaking of sleep, I don't know how I ended up tying into it. I need better transitions. We do have a special guest on The Noize today. She's been family for quite some time, but now she's officially Beat Network family. So, you know, clap it up. There are claps going on right now that we normally would have attached to the board. But you heard the voice, you recognize it. It is Rach da Gem of Melanin Blvd.
Mm-hmm. I'm here, back in the building.
Welcome.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
How long has it been since you've been on the show? February?
I feel like it's been longer than that.
I think it was February. Because remember we had that podcast back out of the Black Podcast Month.
Nah, I came on.
And then you end up coming on.
Was that last February though?
That was this February.
And I think I was even on hiatus, which was cool.
Shit.
True.
Wow.
So kind of get me back in the groove. Like, okay, I got to get it together.
You know, blow the dust off the mic and all that.
Guess it all worked out.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, see, we was just foreshadowing.
Right.
That's all it was. So first of all, how are you?
Oh, sleepy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just the daylight savings time.
Has to be.
I was sleeping before daylight saving time, but I'm good. Thanks for asking me to come on the show.
Absolutely.
So definitely always fun to come on. So.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah.
So let's talk to the people really quick. Melanin Blvd, officially Beat Network. You've been back to recording for like what, last 3-4 months?
Since June, my first episode was recorded June 1st.
Okay.
So ever since then,
Going strong.
You feel me? Going at it.
Every week, no games,
no co-host, just
Just
awesome guest.
Yeah.
How
Amazing.
difficult is that to actually run a show by yourself? That seems like it would be really difficult.
So, you know, that was my concern.
This is Kev plotting on the show to kick me off. Just curious, you know. Just
No, actually, that was my concern. That's why I kind of had such a hard time starting it up. What I call season 2, which was completely whack. Don't listen to those episodes. I was trying to run it like by myself and have episodes by myself, but I don't like to talk to myself. I don't really, I like to have a conversation. I like to kind of bounce back and forth and get different point of views. You know, this show isn't about me. So Melanin Blvd is not about Rachel. Melanin Blvd is about the Black experience and different experiences, different points of view. So my thing was, okay, so I'm going to just have a guest on my show every single show. I was really scared because I was like, I don't know if I can deliver.
Yeah, that seems like a lot to sustain. Like
yeah. And to be honest, it's been perfect. Like
good.
People reach out to me. I don't even know how many times I've reached out to people it's people have reached out to me more than I've had to reach out and find people. So it's just worked out, and I've been booked up. Like I'd be like, oh, I don't have my whole November is booked up.
Hey,
So
That's the way to be.
So I'm super thankful for that, and that you're doing the right thing when it just falls into place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've had some bomb ass guests. Okay,
That they have. Talk a little bit about the most recent episode.
man. So Ebony Obsidian, she's an actress, and she was on the movie If Beale Street Could Talk. She was one of the sisters, and she's been on some other projects, but that was one of the bigger public ones. And most recently, she's on Tyler Perry's new show Sisters on BET. So they're on episode 3. So the season just started. I feel like she's the next thing popping.
Gotcha.
She's very talented, super smart, super sweet girl, and we had a great conversation. I've even had another actress on my show. I'm bad with names, so it's not even nothing personal. I'm just super bad with names if I haven't recently talked to you.
See, that's like the process of working. Like I've been trying to talk to so many people. I gotta get
That's
back
what it
to
sounds like.
There's too many celebrities sliding through.
Right. It's a humble flex. That's what it is.
Super duper humble flex, but a flex nonetheless.
Rita Rucker, she's on, and even Ebony Obsidian, she has a Hulu. She has a Hulu show that's launching. Rita Rucker has some shows that are dropping on Hulu, and I think I'm trying to think the show. It's also, I think, a Tyler Perry flick too. 20s on BET, and she's on a Amazon Prime show. Even interviewing people who had the cartoon series.
Gotcha.
Okay. And from down to the guy who was a Hebrew Israelite. Like, I just kind of have people that
all walks of life.
I want to be able to show people, and this show is for us. So to broaden our minds and to show a different side of Black people, that we all don't think alike, that we all have different views and different theories of how we got here, et cetera, different experiences. So I'm just thankful that I've been able to get some solid guests on the show.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
Absolutely. The Hebrew Israelite one was it was everything I expected it to be. I remember hearing about it prior because also spoiler, well, not spoiler because it's already happened. So behind the scenes, Rach was already recording here the entire time that she brought the show back. So she's been at Beat Network Studios, but she wasn't Beat Network. And then I guess I'll touch on the offer when we got there. But anyway, so when the Hebrew Israelite cat was coming through and they were talking about, she was telling me what the conversation was going to be. Everything that I imagined in my head is what he walked in as. The only thing that threw me off was the flower. I'm like, damn, I did not think there was going to be a flower in his head.
It was a feather.
I'm sorry, feather. I'm sorry, my apologies. A feather in his head. I was like, okay, yep.
He traced his lineage back to an indigenous tribe here, so he embraced that from what he found. So, everybody doesn't get a chance to trace their family tree. And because his father was indigenous to the tribe, he took on what his father was. So, interesting, That's
like
what I want.
It's like the people when they find out that they're like 1/18 British. So now they just drink tea all the time. And they got hella UK flags just around the crib. Like, have you been? I'm like, nope. Furthest I've been is Virginia.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Like we've been saying, man, Rach has been family for quite some time. Ever since her appearance on the first Black Podcast Month last year, all the way up to her officially getting down. And it's funny because we was actually in the middle of a meeting, her, David Neff, and I, David Neff, Back to the Class, shout out to them. And we were working on a separate project. And then we just randomly just brought it up like, just come on board. It was nothing special. There was no I didn't write a letter. No, it was just like, just come on board. I feel like that's the relationship that we have.
Over chips and salsa, which I'm so here for it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with chips and salsa. That literally makes the connection.
That was a closing deal because if there had not been,
if had it been queso or celery, my nigga, this would have been all the way up.
It's not a very good combination.
Exactly. It's like, this doesn't taste right, so this doesn't feel right.
Right.
So I feel like we can't go no further than this. But yes, we are excited to have you.
Man, absolutely. I'm just, it just blows my mind to know that people, see value in what I do, and that you do want me to come on under your company. I know this is important to you, so I don't take it lightly.
Well, thank you. Heart emoji. You know what I'm saying? So happy to have you on the show as well. And just to kind of, before we get into the actual, I guess the meat of the show, let the people know where they can find Melanin Blvd, when they can tune in. Real quick pub. We're going to have you do it again at the end of the show anyway.
Well, make sure you tune in every Thursday. You can listen everywhere: iHeart, Spotify, Apple, Google, everywhere. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Melanin Blvd. Boulevard's abbreviated on Instagram. Just try it both ways, Melanin Blvd. You know how to spell melanin, spell Boulevard out. And follow me, Rach da Gem, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Sometimes Snapchat. I might put a snap up every now and then.
Hey, she said, holla at my premiums. Fan only.
Fan only page coming soon.
That's how you
extra coins.
That's how you really take off the podcast. It's fans only / more melanin. That's what we're gonna go with.
Yep.
I feel like that'll work.
Can
we put a Beat Network watermark on that?
Hey, we can do it. I'm open to collaboration. Let's get it.
That we got to open up the company, Beating Cheeks.
Yeah.
Beating cheeks.
It was just with it, beating and exclamation. But anyway, kind of get into some of the conversation that we wanted to have. Really, before we get into the detailed stuff, we definitely want to send our prayers out to Angie Martinez. So she was recently in a car accident. And they said that she suffered a shattered vertebrae and a fractured lumbar. So pretty much like the whole lower spine is just ate the fuck up.
Let's see how fast she recovers. Does she have Kevin Hart bones?
It could. And I don't know. It took him some time.
No, really. He just had his accident in September. He had whole back surgery. I'm just saying,
This is true.
I'm just saying, it just seems a little.
It's a little funny. We got to talk about it.
I'm saying what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
You think the Kevin Hart accident was fugazi?
I think it was a little fugazi.
Ooh, hot take.
Right.
I got it here.
He just, first of all, there's too many different stories. First, he crawled out, went for help. Then he's at his house. His girl called. It's too many things going on. Then his recovery was really fast. Got in, back surgery, out in 2 days. Like, I don't know who really gets back surgery and out in 2 days. I don't know. I've never had back surgery. But
Gabe, you had a couple. What's your recovery?
It depends. The first time I was in there for 2 weeks. But that shit hurt. Like that shit really hurt. The second time, nah, I was walking around like that same day, like ain't shit happened.
Wow.
But that does, like, when you can walk around, do little stuff, but let's say you trot off the curb, that shit hurts. You know what I mean? You running across the street real quick, it can be a quick little jog, that shit hurts. So it depends. But I'm kind of with you on that because what he had done, like, was more severe than what I had done.
Right.
So, my nigga, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, he's in full workouts right now.
Yeah, but then again, I also have to take into account that the man is a millionaire. I'm not, so who knows what, who knows what
But
doctor
you're
and
still
shit
a
he had to
human
do.
being at
True,
the end of the day.
true.
And then the reaction, because press had pulled up on his girl while she was walking into the hospital, and they were like, "How's Kevin doing? Is he up making jokes?" But her reaction just wasn't. Like, I don't know, maybe she thought he was going to die, and she was like, yes. Or, I don't know. She just looked a little like not the reaction that somebody would have whose man had just got in a bad car accident. And, I don't know shit. I'm just saying.
Well, I remember there was some like rumors saying that it was like another girl in the car.
Yeah,
but it was supposedly his
friend or something
girl
like that,
or
yeah. I don't know. It's like she said, it's a lot of stories. I don't know. Because I'm starting to think like, did you just get caught cheating?
I was about to say,
it
got real, crazy, little questionable.
Yeah, who knows?
Trust me, I done seen and heard from a lot of women that, as soon as there's another girl involved, all concern is out the door. Now it's immediately this nigga.
Yeah, like who was her? Like,
She probably went in there and started flicking his back. Like, who else was in the car, Kev? Who else?
I don't know.
Just flicking at the open wound. Like, nah, he don't need no anesthesia. You don't need none of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, but they said, according to the Instagram post, Angie Martinez was like really bad.
Yeah, hers was crazy. But however, she was able to at least tweet afterwards. So, but that whole shattered vertebrae and fractured lumbar, that's wild, and that's
yeah.
That just sounds like mad painful. And then it says that lower back, which is majority of your mobility. At that, so I don't think her bounce back gonna be that great.
Nah, I mean, for my first surgery to fully recover, even though I probably messed up by thinking I was good before then, but to full recover from my surgery is a year, like 12 months. So I know hers got to be more than that.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
And then she already wasn't, and this isn't like a shot or anything at her, but she, she's older. She wasn't necessarily athletic or anything like that.
Right.
So that recovery's gonna be a bitch.
Yeah.
But I guess we can't use hers to kind of compare to Kev's. Like, ha!
No.
Tis a lot. Kevin Hart. I'm sorry. It's too many Kevs in the building.
Hey, just Kev, you go by that.
But that's still that man's name. Kev, we had a conversation about this earlier. We kind of touched on it earlier. And you mentioned that viral mother whooping her kid.
Mm-hmm. I think we saw 2 videos.
There was a few videos.
Yeah. The one I saw was, I don't know what the boy did or anything like that, but it looked like a mom dragging a little boy out the house, and she...
Was it a house or a school?
Oh, I'm sorry, a school. She dragged him out, I'm assuming the class, and was like whooping him in the school. The problem I have with that is, you got somebody recording it.
Right.
You got people just standing there, I'm assuming look like teachers maybe, were just standing there watching. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure we probably had that done to us or something similar. Not necessarily. No, I'm not. What I mean is, we didn't have nobody recording us getting our ass or nothing like that. But I'm pretty sure we had a time where our mom probably kicked the ass.
Oh yeah, in public.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In public somewhere. But I think that's different.
Rach like memories.
No, I was a good kid. I wasn't really fucking around as a kid.
So when I look at that video, I'm like, that has happened, but it doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it cool. You know what I mean? And for her to do that and have it recorded, like, come on, you asking for trouble. She couldn't wait till
she got home?
I'm saying, whatever he did, it was still going to be, like, there.
Right, that anger's going to persist.
Right.
By the time you get to the crib, it's still there, because he already still did the thing.
Right. What was the one that you seen, though?
I'm going to get to the one that I saw, but this actually reminded me of something of, I guess this is almost like an impromptu story time with Lowe's, except this story was not funny. It was when I was in elementary school at Hillcrest out in L.A., and my classmate, his mother was also like the superintendent or so. She did something at the school. And I wish Jay Alonzo was here because he definitely would agree with everything. She looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Just put that right now. She looked like Samuel L. Jackson in drag. But anyway, he got in trouble. And it was the little costume parade that they used to have in like elementary school.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So he got in trouble and he couldn't wear his costume. You know what she made this nigga wear?
Dress.
She made him a fucking cheerleader.
Aw,
Wig,
hell no.
Wig and everything. And I felt so bad for dude because it's a parade, mind you.
Right. You go to all the classes and
she's walking right. Oh no, he wasn't in the costume for like throughout class. He didn't have any costume throughout the actual day itself.
But right when it was time.
But when it was parade time,
he
had on the cheerleading outfit. And even being at that age, I still felt like that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, when I saw the video that you were talking about, my first thought was like, they're gonna have to like live with that. Like tomorrow, and then the next day, then the next week. Like, you remember when your mama came up here and fucked you up?
Yeah.
You don't? Well, here it is right here.
Here it is right here. Yeah.
It's viral. So
yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Rachel, your thoughts?
Wait till you get home to beat that ass. That's what I say. I'm definitely waited till I got home to get in my kid's ass.
To make some shit jump off.
Like the actual ass whooping, I looked at it and was like, all right, she ain't really like fuck him up like that. Like I've seen that, you know what I mean? But like everything that surrounded it, I'm like,
the embarrassment.
Nah. Yeah, I'm like, nah. Cause like you said, you got to live with that.
Yeah, it's the embarrassment at the actual school itself. And
that's what I'm saying.
And then even if whoever wasn't there, when they get word of it, it's like, wait, who? Yeah, man, it's right here on Facebook.
Or fucking, let's say, because it was, I don't know who these two people were they weren't recording, but they were there. What if it was like a teacher or something? So what if, 2 weeks from now, little boy talking too much? Hey, want me to call your mama? You know what I mean? Like that's not, because she knows what it was. You know what I mean? Like that's not good.
That's bad look.
That's not good.
But see, Kev's out here with the A1 transitions because it actually goes right into what he was just asking me about the video that I saw. So I saw 2 videos. The first one, I didn't get a chance to go back and look exactly where it was at, but it kind of goes into this conversation that I want to have, especially with y'all being parents and having kids in school. One video I saw, this it's probably like junior high, high school. The girl was definitely, gay, and she was having an argument back and forth with the teacher. Teacher was older. Teacher was easily in like her 60s. And the girl kept saying, don't disrespect me, don't disrespect me. And she smacked the shit out of the teacher. And now the teacher, she kept her cool. She was shocked, of course, but she kept her cool and was like, I'm not disrespecting you or anything like that. And was walking after her. I saw another video where the substitute teacher, I guess the kid was throwing something at him. I think you've probably seen this one too.
No, it's just funny that it's a sub. Sub's like, fuck that.
Yeah, subs don't care.
I don't even teach here.
They don't care.
It's all good. So I don't know, the student was throwing something at her or what. But when she went to like take the stuff, the kid just hauls off and just punched the substitute teacher in the mouth. Now, it's not funny, but the way this substitute teacher beat this kid's ass, I'm talking about teeing off on him. Now, kind of going into my conversation, obviously, it's fucked up, and that's not a position that you want to be in. How do you expect some of these teachers to react?
Right. You're right about
that. Being 5'2", if I'm
a little lower to the earth,
if I'm in the classroom with these kids, a lot of even elementary, I'm eye to eye. And you never know what these teachers be going through. First of all, they're underpaid. They're probably stressed out. Anything could trigger a human.
They spend half their salary for you to be straight and you punch me.
Right.
My nigga,
you
really?
see all this shit on this wall?
Right.
I done paid for, And it was substitute. So, substitutes was always kind of a little bit more. But I don't even know what my reaction would be. Probably I would probably fuck that student up and I'd be like, fuck it. I'm going to jail for a couple of days.
Okay, what you think?
Well,
they punch you like a grown man.
To answer both videos, like, don't get me wrong. If my kid is doing something, now granted, in both videos, the kid hit somebody first, so that's different. But if my kid is doing something and you just wail off and hit him, my nigga, I'm going to beat the dog shit out of you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to handle him or her when we get home, but I'm going to beat the dog shit out of you. However, if I'm a teacher, and especially nowadays, these kids is big.
Right.
So if you hit me, I'm probably not going to like beat the dog shit out of you, but I'm going to tee you off and let you know, hey, go get your pops, cause I'm gonna beat his ass too.
Because you gotta get this work
right,
too.
You know what I mean? But I understand it. Like if you're trying to discipline the class, and like you said, Rach, they're underpaid, you know what I mean? All this shit is going on, and you got some kid and you're just trying, hey yo, chill out. Like you're disrupting other kids and he get mad and hit me, my nigga, I'm gonna fire on you.
Right.
And then I'll do whatever I gotta do business wise, get out of the situation. If you want to go tell your parents, I can talk to them like, look, I defended myself. But if you got a problem, you can get it too.
Right.
That's just how I look at it.
This ain't got to be defended. We could just fight. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I get it both ways, but I do understand some of these teachers that, when they're hit. Now, if the kid is just being an asshole and you do something like that,
you need to find another job.
Exactly. This wasn't it. No, it ain't no need to find another job. You have to at this point. You ain't teaching nowhere else. The second video that I saw where the teacher actually fought back, and it was a female teacher, she definitely went overboard. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I'm like,
she was triggered.
Torn at. Like, she was definitely triggered, but like she started teeing off on dude in his desk, picked him up out the desk, slammed him to the floor.
Oh, shit.
And it was just UFC, grounded.
Now, in that situation, when I hear about it, me and my kid gonna have words because for whatever it got to that point.
Right.
But I'm gonna beat your ass.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. By the time I get to the teacher, my kid done already got like, what the fuck you doing here? Faculty. Like, what the fuck is your problem?
What is your problem?
You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna get fucked up and then he's gonna watch me fuck this teacher up like, nigga, you hit my son like he was a grown ass man.
Exactly.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But as far as the actual defense, I think I've only seen one video with a teacher fighting back against a student that I kind of agree with. Like, if give him a couple pops, a couple backup pops, that okay, I get. Mm-hmm. But I think it was a video of the PE teacher. It was like him and a little Hispanic student, and this was a while ago. This was like when the teacher whooping students' ass thing started becoming a real thing on social media. Mm-hmm. And the little Hispanic dude started, teeing off on the dude, and he was trying to cover up. He kept trying to push him back. Hispanic kid kept running up, hit him, and then the teacher just he caught him one good time in the mouth, and then just slammed him. And it was so much outrage. Like, no one gave a fuck
that this kid was
kicking his teeing off on him
like
that. And he tried his best. He tried to defend himself. He tried to push him off of him. The whole nine. And then once it got to the point where, okay, well, this shit isn't working. So now I got to show you, bro, I'm bigger than you.
Right.
I'm bigger than you. I'm older than you. I got more experience than you. You're going to end up stopping no matter what the case is. I just don't understand why is there so much, like, you know, well, I guess I get it because they're kids, but why is there so much outrage for motherfuckers not even involved in the situation? Like, you watch this kid do what he did to this teacher, to this faculty member. So he's just go scot-free? Like, as the teacher, I mean, I know you just answered it, but like, Rach, from you, like, as the teacher, what do you do in that situation?
I don't even know. It's kind of like it's only so much that they can do.
Exactly.
And in the moment, it's kind of like I can't call school police because they were in high school, junior high?
The one that I saw was either junior high or high school, yeah.
They have school police. They're supposed to have school police from junior high on up. So it's kind of like, do you either call for the school police but it's kind of hard when you being hit. You know what I mean? Right. And especially if these kids are your size, it's kind of like,
it's
shit.
hard, yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to hurt you, but you can't just be hitting me. And sometimes these kids got to learn a lesson. And unfortunately, because of the system and the school system, it's hard for the teachers to even be like, I was literally defending myself.
Right. It's an unfortunate damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Right. Do I sit there and let them beat my ass? Then what? You're not about to give me my pension. You're not about to give me paid leave. You don't tell me bring my ass back to school. How I get beat up by a little kid.
Right.
Suing everybody.
Everybody getting sued.
Yeah.
So, I got to go back. If I don't do nothing, I'm suing the school. I'm suing their parents. I'm suing everybody.
Yeah. And so at some point, we got to hold these kids accountable for their actions.
Oh, yeah.
And these parents know I know my kids wouldn't be putting their hands on their teacher, but there's some parents who have kids that my kid might just do it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and that's a problem. So as a parent, you need to be held accountable too.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't seem like that's happening. We just they're a kid and he's upset. No, that's not okay. Where's the school counselors in this situation? Because that's probably not the first time he bucked up on a teacher.
Exactly. He ain't just get that confidence out of nowhere.
I'm going to punch a teacher today.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't that. He probably been a problem.
He probably hit a few teachers, right?
Yeah. So at that point, that's the school's fault because they haven't even addressed the situation. They be letting stuff go on too long without addressing it.
I agree. And again, me not having children, but then having pretty much everybody around me have kids. Like, you hear so much about, like with y'all are different. When y'all hear some shit about y'all kids, at least from the experiences I've had around y'all, when y'all hear something about the kids, y'all go straight to the kid first.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of these parents that you see, you know, in these kind of situations.
It's everybody's fault but their kid.
It's everyone's fault but the kid. Exactly. That's the shit that makes no fucking sense.
It's everybody's fault but the kid and the parent.
Oh, and the parent, right, because you're a good parent. And
right.
It's all the teacher.
Exactly.
Oh, no. For some reason this year, I've been at the school more because of my daughter. Calling me while I'm working, which pisses me off. Like,
it's not funny. What the fuck am I checking?
It's just, but like, the school called me. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm chill. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it. I got you. I'm gonna talk to my child first because I want to hear what she got to say.
Right.
Because sometimes teachers lie.
Yeah.
And, you know, you never know what teacher just doesn't like your kid.
Right.
You know, but I also know my kid and I know what age she's at. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to ask her first. What I love to do is pick her up from school and just wait for her to tell me what happened. 9 times out of 10, she quiet.
Because she know you know.
She like, I'm not going to say nothing until she say something. But you got to ask and figure out. And so it got to the point where I was like, okay, so you saying this isn't true, the teacher this. So we're going to sit down all together.
Right.
And that's what we had to do because I'm not about to sit back and have you calling about my child and either my child's not doing anything or my child keeps doing stuff and I don't know if it's true and it's causing a disruption in the classroom.
Right.
So let's all sit down together and we're going to get it figured out. And ever since then, we've been cool. Ain't had no problem. Not a problem.
I think we're that fortunate part of the generation that we've already done it all. It's nothing that our kids can necessarily say to like, I've used that excuse. Like stop it. Like I used to finesse the shit out of my parents when I was younger, but when I couldn't finesse anymore, like if they got to the voicemail before I did, it was like
rap.
Whole time riding home with mom, she just quiet. I'm like, all right.
Yep.
So how was work? Good. Oh, okay. 1 word. So, and then you get to the house. Don't say shit. Just walk right up to the book. Boop. We're calling about your son Carlos Sampson. He did it. I'm like, oh, y'all some snitches.
And you mad at them for telling? Like, really, y'all gonna tell them? You
Y'all
know,
gonna do y'all fucking job.
Really?
Like, yeah, okay, that's real shit. That's real shit. But yeah, I feel like now you kind of, and I think that's what irks me the most about certain parents as well, is because they're going straight to it's nobody's fault. It's not my fault. It's not my kid's fault. It's everybody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were that age. You came up with the bullshit that he's coming up with now. The shit that they coming up with now is goddamn viral jokes on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, so you was in the back. He didn't see you raise your hand. You didn't say here. Like, no, I only raised my hand. Like, nah, nigga, you were skipping. You definitely weren't there. You definitely weren't even in that class. But I guess, I mean, that's just my outside looking in with no children. Y'all would know more about that. I could be wrong.
No,
Have y'all been finessed yet?
No, I mean, I know what my kid does. All my kids talk a lot. All of them. So this is what I expect to hear back from the teacher. Even my little kindergartner. I was like, I asked her teacher, she talk a lot? She was like, yeah, she does. She talks to everybody. I'm like, no matter where she sits. I'm like, yeah, that's her.
She's friends with everyone.
You know, but if I hear, oh, your kid hauled off and hit the shit out of somebody. I'm
you'd be like, come on, dog, really?
What they do, because my kids don't just be hitting people.
No,
know?
What you do for them to do this? Because
Like,
I know they don't do this.
Right. Like
I know they know better.
Like one time when my oldest was like in preschool, she bit somebody's eye. And I was like, well, why was their eye that close to her mouth? That's what I want to know.
That's a valid question.
You sat there and let her bite your eye. Now that's your fault.
That's a valid question.
But I was like, don't be putting your mouth on people.
Well,
but you know,
what was the end result of that story?
The precision
They had a
in that.
report. They had a report, and they, had to tell the parent, and
the precision in that, like to bite somebody's eye,
eye,
that's
like,
precision. It can only happen if the eye is closed.
That's either precision or a lot of bicep strength, because you got to hold somebody close to hit him with that.
That's what I'm saying. That goes back to why was the eye so close to her mouth?
And that was my question. Like, who's this kid, and why was his eye that close to her mouth?
What if he had pink eye?
And that's why I was like, listen, don't, if they did something, punch them, but don't be putting your mouth
put
on,
your
don't
mouth
bite
on
on them. Don't bite them. But yeah.
I'm like, you got video of this? How did this go down?
Right.
Because I have so many questions.
Right.
Yeah,
Because the first thing I thought about was Penguin biting old boy's nose off on Batman Returns.
Oh, God.
Like,
Wait, but on
I
that,
hate
we
that
want to
part.
know how we got to this point of her biting the eye in the first place. How did we get there?
Yeah, that's what I was.
They wasn't just playing with block. You know what? I'm gonna bite your eye. They wasn't just
Bro,
doing
she was
that.
just sitting from across the room just plotting the whole
I'm
time.
gonna bite his eye.
That eye coming with me.
Right, look real
and,
good. Like,
and that's
nah.
not something that she was just doing. Like if she was a biter and she was biting kids, I'd be like, oh yeah, sorry about that.
She's a biter.
Right.
Yeah,
She
but
might have did that.
she wasn't a kid that was like in issues and hitting other kids. So I immediately was like, well, what'd the kid do?
Right.
What do? You had to do something.
You know what's so crazy? Because kids like literally bounce back from anything. Like how do you maintain a classmate relationship
After you got bitten in the
after
eye.
you bit my eye? You know what I'm saying? Like every day I'm at class giving you with my good eye, I'm giving you a mean eye. Nigga, just whole time looking like a goddamn
Looking
pirate.
like Forrest Whitaker.
Yep.
Straight with the Forrest Whitaker eye. That's man. So long story short, teachers whoop these kids' ass.
Parents whoop your kids' ass at home.
At home.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
done
At the
drove-
crib, turn
yep.
off cameras. Don't even
Close
tell
the
nobody.
windows and the blinds.
People
Whoop
ask what
that
happened,
ass.
tell them it was discipline.
Exactly.
That's the only way you can go about it. So let's get into a popular conversation. This conversation kind of kicked off in the car, and I was like, you know what? Let's save it for the show. I feel like
Table it.
it was some good things getting said. The popular thing right now that's going around is the fact that T.I. revealed that was like once a year he accompanies his daughter to the gynecologist to make sure that she's still a virgin. I looked up that actual interview itself, well, at least the part of the comment, and I took the excerpt of the actual comment from the Ladies Like Us podcast. Now, I never even heard of this podcast prior to
No,
this.
shit
actually
don't
happening.
matter. They had T.I. on
They
there.
had T on there, so they must be somebody
Right.
of note. He says, "Look, Doc, she don't ride no horses. She don't ride no bike. She don't play no sports, man. Just check the hymen, please, and give me back my results expeditiously." You knew he was going to say that.
Wow.
At this point, he gets paid for it. Isn't this podcast called Expeditiously?
Yeah, it is.
You know what? Take advantage of what's viral. Yeah. Take advantage of what's viral and run with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to open this back up to the parents. Whoever would like to take this one first and can more than welcome to go ahead.
You go ahead.
With this particular situation, again, I don't agree with nothing he doing. Like, no, my nigga, why are you going to the doc? Nah, I don't agree with that at all. Only thing that I seen was the internet was adding stuff that he didn't say. So I was just going by strictly off what he said. Do I agree with it? No, I don't fucking agree with it. And then on top of that, I don't want to go with you to the doctor for that shit. So no. Only thing I was saying was like they were taking certain words, like adding certain words that he said, and he didn't say from the actual clip. And I'm not trying to be objective because at the end of the day, my nigga, like, A, you didn't have to say none of this shit.
This
B, like,
information.
right. B, like, even if you felt like you did have to say this, don't. That's part of like knowing when and when not to say shit. And at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? All he did was tell a story. I don't know what was going on within that story. So I can't hold him to that because I don't necessarily know what's going on. I can hold him to the fact that, hey, you shouldn't have said this shit. I can hold you to the fact that you putting out personal stuff because who knows what that girl feel like.
Now that shit's embarrassing.
Exactly. I can only imagine. I think they said that she had to like put her comment something like on private or account because dudes jumping in there saying, hey, let me break your hymen or some shit.
That shit's
shit's nasty. And that's T.I.'s fault.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
complete.
Yeah, you did that. So if you do go to the next appointment and she ain't got no hymen, my nigga, that's your fault. If that's the case, if we want to look at it that way.
She thought she gonna bust out just to teach him.
Right. Like, come on. But no, that's all I was saying. I don't agree with none of the shit that he's talking about. All I was saying was like, yo, don't, if I say something, don't say that I'm saying something else and make me look worse than what I already look. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, hopefully, he looking back at this like, yeah, I fucked up.
I don't think T.I.
That's why I said hopefully. That's why I said hopefully. But
T.I. at the crib. Well, my vocabulary, man,
yeah,
misinterpreted.
yeah. All I was saying about it is I don't know their situation. I don't know what it was. I don't know. So I can't sit there. I can only go by what he said. That's it. Do I agree with what he said? No. But I can only go by that. That's all I was saying.
I don't like him.
I can see that. And then on top of that, I don't feel like any dude should be discussing or talking about a woman's body, period.
And that's a HIPAA violation. Like, let's be
It
honest.
is. But yeah, I don't want to know. As long as you ain't pregnant, I don't give a fuck.
You ain't got that itchy scratchy.
Or that, yeah. Other than that, I don't think dudes should have anything to say about a woman's body. Like, about none of this shit.
Yeah. He's toxic. He's a toxic man. And I'm going to say that shit forever because I don't like him as a person. And he displays toxic male behavior. It's okay for me to do it, but not you. He tell his sons, go out there, get pussy.
Yeah,
but then you monitoring your
you can't do
daughter's
that.
hymen?
You
What
can't do
the
that.
fuck is that shit about? And second of all, my first question is, where is she got two moms. She got a stepmom, Tiny, and then she got her mama.
Yeah.
And that's her only child. I'd be damned if one of my kids' dads say, I'm gonna take them to the gyno to
For
bitch,
what?
what?
Why?
Bitch, what? Like, I don't call men bitches, but bitch, what? That's gonna be my response. And and that'll be that. Like, you're not taking my child nowhere. And that's not your business.
Exactly.
And if you feel that you need to invade her privacy in order for you to verify that she's a virgin, you need to check yourself. Because at the end of the day, you should have been having conversations with her about her body. And if she chooses to have sex, at least you know that you've prepared her with the information that she needs to protect herself and that she doesn't feel pressured. Now you've put her in a position for you to make decisions about her body. Now how is she going to go out in the world and meet a man and expect him to respect her body? You know what I'm saying? If your dad can violate you in that way and basically pressure you to release information about your body at 18 years old.
Yeah, she's grown, yeah.
That's out of line. Even at 16, you've already been through puberty. You've already been through all these things. Like, you're on your way. You're about to graduate.
Realistically lost his virginity by that time.
Yeah. And I'm sure his sons too. And so why is that okay? And I don't like him and I never will. I hope I never get to interview him and watch me watch some shit happen.
Yeah, about to get in the contact me page. Hey, yo, can I get on that show? I need to be on that show expeditiously.
And I'm be like, say less.
I feel as if I must explain my position.
You know, it's just the behavior and his mindset. And he tries to act like he's so much better than, you know,
Some
and
prison words.
Yeah, it is in prison
it's
words.
just so irritating. And the fact that he embarrassed his daughter like that, that's something
that
I'll
was
never
foul.
respect.
You shouldn't do that.
And that's again my non-parent knowledge. I'm going strictly off of kind of just outside looking in. I agree with both of y'all. And even when you talk about information that didn't necessarily need to be said,
you ain't to say shit.
like, and then of all times, like the same year that there was just an abortion ban put out there, like, so now, you know, there's women still technically, you know, recovering from that information, from knowing that they're now in a position that they can have, you know, their bodies being policed like that. To come down to the fucking father, is going to check on, you know what I'm saying, the structure of the hymen, make sure everything is still together. First of all,
you ain't no doctor, my G. Like, what are you doing?
now he probably learned when he was incarcerated.
Don't matter.
You know
he ain't do no training. Like, what are you doing?
If he learned when he was incarcerated, he would know that hymens come in different sizes, and some people's hymens are stretched. And and just because she's not athletic and doing sports, and there's still ways that can be stretched. She might use a tampon. I'm just saying. So I don't like him. Don't like him.
Just outside of the dislike. But yeah, I just thought it was crazy. And then you're in a position that you're not the first, second, or third person I've heard talk about T.I. that way. So you're already not necessarily on the best side when it comes down to women. So to, you know, just voluntarily give this information out, like, what were you expecting, you know what I'm saying, to come back from? Because, like, you remember at one point, T.I. was like, he was trying to be like the Martin Luther King of hip hop. Every major thing that was going on with the black community, he would pop up at, to the point where he showed up to some protest and they kicked him out. It was like the Waffle House protest.
One of them
joints was going on in Atlanta. But I'm like, bro, you're not looking too good in the community right now.
No,
Right.
I think it also goes back to the whole "I'm not wearing Gucci shit for 3 months" type stuff. You could have easily said, I'm not going to wear Gucci. What I am going to do is I'm going to intentionally find black designers
and put them up.
Yeah.
Right.
But you still rocking Gucci. You want to boycott Gucci? The average black person is not wearing Gucci.
Right.
So
Just
what are
the belt.
Right. Just about. Maybe the wallet.
Just the belt. I see a bunch of motherfuckers in like sweatpants with Gucci belts on.
No belt loop.
No belt loop. Just holding the pressure.
So, you know, I never really respected T.I. when it comes to like politics and campaigning for black people, because he's not consistent in the shit that he does. And he's just doing that shit just for the look of it. And yeah, again, I don't like him. Not at all.
Respect. Like I said, I ain't gonna argue with you there. You're not the first person to tell me how he gets down on the show.
Yeah, it'd be some stuff I'd be saying on the show. I'd be like, really, my G? Like, that's what you're doing?
And then they hear that he's pushing his sons to go out, you know what I'm saying, and get some or whatever. But I'm monitoring the fact that my daughter is still a virgin, whatever. Again, speaking from my outside looking in place, I can only speak for other outside looking in places. It's weird the amount of people that are supporting him in his decision. And like a lot of people are talking about it. Oh, well, you know, those are his kids, and if that's how he wants to parent, then that's how you can parent. 18 isn't grown, you know, and all this other shit.
But 18 is grown when she's messing with a 32-year-old,
you know
right?
Right.
It's grown then. Oh, they both grown. I don't want to hear that
right,
shit.
And a dude 44, and then, you know, well, she's 18, she can make her own decisions. Like, it can't be
convenient.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
It can't be convenient to the point you're trying to make.
Exactly.
You know, that's a whole nother podcast, but it's just, it's crazy the amount of people I see supporting him. And I will always say this because it's always surprising. But the amount of women I see supporting,
I did see a few women that was like, I agree with what he was saying. I was like, listen, I don't agree with shit he's saying.
Right.
But
I saw there was this long like meme that's making its way around on. Well, I won't say meme because it was a post, but somebody clipped it and been put on IG. It's this long post that this chick wrote about T.I. as a parent, and then of course at the very end, it's the obvious cop out for people that are fans of these people. Y'all ain't making no T.I. money and doing this, that, and the third. He's the breadwinner, so if he wants to do that, then you know what I'm saying, that's his.
So we can
nah.
So they're saying because
you know
he has
Nah.
money, he can violate people.
Exactly.
That's the same thing saying that because these billionaires got money, they can rape and do whatever
Right.
they want.
Exactly. I'm about to say,
Weinstein got money,
exactly.
so
I'm about to
it's
say, so
okay.
Weinstein's cool at the
Yeah.
end of the day because he's you know financing these people,
Nah.
financing their dreams and shit like that. And it's just it blows my fucking mind, like how you can't make any of that makes sense, especially when you take all the other bullshit away. Take everything else that they're talking about away. So you would police your daughter's body that way? You would go and, be in the room during the fucking...
I don't understand. Why would you want to?
That's the other side of it.
Like
I felt uncomfortable saying that damn sentence. I'm like,
I don't want to. Like I have a daughter, and I know eventually, like when she gets 16, 17, she's gonna be. Listen, she can come to me and be like, or fucking. Let's say she started her period at school or something. I'm gonna wig the fuck out. I don't want no parts of that. You know what I mean? I don't want no. I don't want no parts. of that.
Go to your mama.
Exactly. So I don't understand why, as a man, you would want to even As long as you know that everything is like she's not in jeopardy health wise, you know what I mean? Then you don't need to know shit else.
Right.
I think that people are like supporting him saying, oh, that's a protective dad. And that is not a protective dad.
Right.
No, you preparing your daughter for the world is a protective dad. Not allowing anyone to hurt her is a protective dad. But policing her body, that's invasive. And that's just embarrassing. I would never want my dad to go to the gyno with me. Like, sometimes it's awkward when your man go when you're pregnant. Like, it's a little awkward, but I don't know.
Now, one of the conversations that have been coming up from it, and you actually mentioned it earlier, was the double standards of it. Like dealing with him telling his boys to go off and do them and then policing what she's doing. Mm-hmm. I think it's nowhere near to the extreme of T.I., not even kind of. But, and again, Kev, you can correct me because you're a father of, a boy and a girl. I feel like, it's especially when it comes down to me and my future, I feel like when it's time for me to actually have a daughter and I know I can't control it, it needs to like come after a boy. And not because I want to know what she's doing. I want to know that she's pure and all this other shit. It's because I know how fucked up this world is. And I know I can't be in a position to protect her every step of the way, but to know that she at least has somebody there that has her back, that would make me feel like more comfortable. Like, I think that's kind of just of a natural, and then again, it's just my assumption. You could definitely tell me where I'm wrong. I think that's just kind of like a natural feeling for fathers when it comes down to their daughters.
I think so. I know when I had my kids, I was praying like naturally. You want a boy first, naturally, for a lot of the reasons that you said, but I mean, you're a guy, so naturally you would want a boy first. That's just me and the guys that I've been around. But going with it, I understand that it really doesn't matter if the boy comes first or not, because he's gonna have her back. Period. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure you've seen a young person beats an old person ass and vice versa. So the age to me really doesn't matter. My thing is I have to, when that time comes, and it won't be for a long time, but when that time comes, I got to prepare her for everything that I know, let her know that if she has questions, I'm there for it. And also let her know that we have her back. You know what I mean? I think that's the hard part about, being a parent as a guy. Cause at first you're like, no, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's just unrealistic.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just like you and me, when we go off to school, that influences us. You know what I mean? Like if you was out and you was hearing all your boys was getting some, back in your mind, you're like, you know what? Maybe it's time I get some. That doesn't come from your parent. You know what I mean? So I have to just prepare her like, when you step out there, X, Y, and Z could happen.
Right.
If it does, we can talk about it. But at the same time, this is your decision. I got to let you live your life. So that's just how I look at it now.
Your thoughts on the...
You have 3 girls, too.
Yeah, 3 girls.
I was about to say, because you have all the...
Yeah.
Now, granted, their mom was a thug, so I get it. But...
It'd still be
It's
rough.
scary out there.
Right.
Yeah. So, my thing is just having, letting them know that they can talk to me about anything. So I got to be super open because the minute that they feel judged or like they might get in trouble, they're going to shut down on you. Right.
Right.
So I just try to like put it out there. And so like last year, my daughter's 11 now, but last year I just asked her, we were driving home from school and I just asked her like, you got a crush on a boy? And she was like, yeah, I do. And his name is like, and I had to like be normal on the outside, but inside I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I was dying on the inside, but like I had to just be calm on the outside. And the same thing, like when they become a woman, it's like, I'm freaking out on the inside. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But on the outside, you just gotta be normal because you don't want them to feel any type of way. And you want them to be comfortable with saying, hey, this is going on. Or, hey, I'm thinking about this. My kindergartner says she has a boyfriend. I'm like, girl, you better learn how to write an essay in MLA format before you have a boyfriend. So after you can learn to do that, then we can talk about boyfriends.
She gonna learn in first grade. Look, mama.
And I'm like, well, y'all be damned.
Here's my MLA, and I got some.
Right. And so, you know.
I mean, literally, little motherfucker.
Right. But just like, no, letting them know, I don't want them to feel like having a boyfriend is just the goal of life.
Right,
you know,
right.
I want them to know it's an option. You don't have to do it. Like my daughter, my 11-year-old, she ain't with the shits with the boys right now. Last year she had a crush. This year she's like, I ain't having it. And
Niggas ain't shit early, huh?
like, I guess, but you know, but that's where she is, and that's you know, I know that's going to change, and so I just want to be the parent. I need to know what's going on. I need to know if you're all right. I don't want you sneaking around. If you're thinking about doing some stuff, let me help you. Let me prepare you if you make the decision, because at the end of the day, if they choose to do it, they're going to do it.
Exactly.
And so you can't stop that because you can't be everywhere. And I'm not checking my daughter's timing. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
You know?
I think as a parent, you gotta be adaptable. Because every stage is going to be different. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to adapt with the stage. Like you said, her daughter's 11. So right now she's not dealing with boys. But in 5 years, maybe she wants to deal with boys. So Rach has to be able to adapt.
I ain't already.
You know what I mean? Rach has to be able to adapt to that. And the parents like T.I. that don't adapt end up checking their daughter's timing.
That's just
Or
where they ultimately end.
I guess no in between. You know, or the daughter goes out and she's sneaking around and she could get herself in trouble.
Exactly.
You know, she's going to get herself into some trouble and then not come to you.
Right.
Exactly.
Because she's not comfortable.
Yeah. She's scared. My parents going to kill me. Yes, you might be scared. You know you weren't supposed to be doing this, or you know you're supposed to do it this way.
I might kill you.
You know, but at the end of the day, they're human and they're going to make mistakes. And at the end of the day, it's a lesson.
This is why I think the people in our age bracket, like, they have the ability to break the cycle. You know what I mean? Like, we are the generation that has both had the analog and technological era. Like, our parents, I'm pretty sure all our parents probably struggle with this technology shit.
Yeah.
And the newer kids, they got all technology. So I think we can kind of break the cycle, and that goes right. And that can goes to say, like, we know that shit that our parents did growing up probably wasn't the best way. So we can change that. You know what I mean? We can let them know, like, look, we're going to be open. You know what I mean? We understand that you're going to fuck up, and we can tell you how to fix that, opposed to our parents, like, no, you fucked up, get in that room. Right. You know what I mean? So I think we can break the cycle. I'll kill you. Exactly. You know what I mean? So you're scared to really fuck up. And that's how you get some of the best experience. It's by fucking up.
Or you checking your daughter's timing.
Or that.
Jumping straight to it.
Yeah. There's no way you can prepare.
Yeah. To be honest, I was going to say, like, you'll never be ready to be a parent.
I'm not ready.
Ever.
Shit.
Exactly.
I don't have no idea what I'm doing.
That's one.
I can tell y'all are tired of hearing that from people.
No. It's because I think people have a misconception. Like, I see some people may work. You know what I mean? We're going to plan to have a baby and so on and so forth. And you can do that. And you can be efficient at that. But you don't know what's going to come with having that baby. For all you know, that baby can come out and have a mental illness.
Right.
That throws kind of everything you had planned out the window. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to adapt, and you'll never be ready. There's no handbook to this shit.
Right.
There is, but you know.
It ain't right. If it is, it ain't right. Because I haven't met a perfect person.
No, you definitely are not going to be perfect. You're going to make so many mistakes every day. And being a parent's hella hard because you have someone's life. You're responsible for life. And every little thing you do affects them in some way. Every decision you made, people you meet, people you expose them to, it could change their life.
For instance, to that, playing with my daughter, like, she'll run up and she'll mess with me. I was like, keep on, put you in the oven. Like, just playing around. So for like 2-3 days straight, she was like, don't put me in the oven. I had to tell her, like, no, baby, I was just playing. Like, I'm not going to do that. Because I don't want her to grow up and be like, yeah, my dad puts me in the oven. What? You know what I mean? So, but that goes to your point.
You put on 150.
Right. Everything that you do, you have to understand that that's going to affect them in some way.
Yeah. Right. And, you know, it just also depends. Like, I don't have kids that have, like, really soft skin. So sometimes I be going in on them. Sometimes. You were on the phone today. So, and they just be like, whatever, mom. You should be tripping. But I'm not really like, it's not like a lot of follow through. It's a little more like little threats. and they be okay. But, you know, certain things, you know, will affect your kids, you know. So I just think it's like this T.I. thing is a completely traumatic situation that he caused for his daughter.
Yeah, he did cause that.
And
she's going to need counseling.
She's reacting to it too. Like she'll see posts about what's going on. She's been liking and retweeting a lot of.
And then on top of that, like it's one thing. Now, either way, for any man to say what he said, like, nah, I don't agree with that. But it's one thing if me or you say that. You know what I mean? We say that on the show.
Imagine if one of you did. Bullshit, everybody would have hated your ass.
Right, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, my nigga, you're T.I.
Right.
Like, how did you not expect this to get around like
wildfire?
This
was going to bubble?
Right. You're T.I. Like, come on. And then you gave a tag to your podcast. Like, come on. Like, what could you expect? What did you expect to get out of this?
He was confident. He was confident that what he had to say, someone was going to jump in and be like, yeah, I agree.
And he got that.
But seeing the unfortunate side of it, it's been 50-50. Like, it hasn't even been like majority, no, that's fucked up, or majority, he's a parent. It's literally been split right down the middle. So ultimately, he's getting from it what he kind of expected. And as long as you got half the people with you, for some reason, with a lot of these cats, that's enough.
That's not enough if I'm going to jeopardize my child's, you know what I mean, my child's self-esteem and kind of well-being. Like, we don't know what this could bring.
But he doesn't look at it that way.
I'm just saying, like, if he's doing this, imagine what she's been going through without nobody around. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It's because we only see just a little bit of what goes on.
That's all I was going by. We only know a little bit. It'd be different if he was like, it'd be different if he came on there and he said what he said and was like, well, the reason I do this is because me and her haven't had like a good sex talk, and I don't want her to be, you know what I mean, if she did this and, you know what I mean, if he said something to that effect or something like that, then maybe I'd be like, okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah, because he ultimately just said it without explanation.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Make sure she averted.
And again, I was just going by off of what he said. I don't agree with none of that shit, but I just going off of what he said. Right. But at the end of the day, we don't know what the circumstances was behind that. For all we know, the girl could have been sneaking out at night. You know what I mean? Who knows? No, you're absolutely right. You're still absolutely right. I'm just saying, we just don't know the circumstances. So either we can be quiet about it and let them do their thing, or obviously put how you feel about it.
Yeah, I had a whole segment on the show about it.
And then who were those girls?
I don't know who
like
they are.
Who was on the show?
They have a following.
I did think it was kind of odd though. Like I didn't know multiple ways you can like break a hymen. Like I didn't know that. I wouldn't know that. I'm a guy. But they didn't know that either. I feel like that's the problem. Y'all women, y'all should know that.
First of all, you learned that in health class, but okay.
Well, they were texting.
Yeah.
They were texting.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
They took the episode down too and put up an apology.
And we talk about this shit all the fucking time on the show. If you're gonna put it out there, don't get me wrong. As human beings, our opinion is going to reshape, is going to change unless we are adamant about a certain thing. So once you have these shows, you kind of got to stand on your rock.
Yeah.
You got to stand on the hill that you put out there. If you fuck up, acknowledge the fact that you fucked up on the next episode. That may, of course, it's not going to go viral the way that, you know,
but
what your fuck up was, but at least it's out there. So you say, no, I've tried to go back and talk about it. And, you know, perfect example was the Kevin Hart situation when he said that he addressed, he's already apologized to the gay community, and it was on a show, and they're like, okay, well, shit, I want to hear it. And then you find out it wasn't really an apology. It was like, okay, so that's where you're kind of in a position where what you put out there wasn't what you're saying it was. Because you can go back to anything, especially when you're dealing with a podcast or whatever. I've never understood getting up on a hill, dying on that hill, and then, hey, you know what, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Like at some point, because to me, if I was a fan of this show, their integrity is officially gone.
Yeah.
It's people commenting on their shit like, I'm unfollowing you. This is, you know, that's so wrong. You know, if it was my show, immediately I'd be like, you dead fucking wrong. You got to correct that. That's a violation.
Right.
But because they were probably smitten because it's T.I.
And use the T.I. word there.
And one thing about me is I'm not impressed.
Like 3 days ago too.
You know, I'm not impressed, you know, so they were giggling and like making little jokes like, somebody check on Deja. They were like, it was like a nervous giggle, like this is awkward giggle. They were obviously uncomfortable, but they kept it going. I would have nipped that shit in the butt. That shit's not cool. That's a violation. I don't give a fuck. like what you got going on. That shit ain't cool. And T.I. would just been mad.
And I think that's what they feared is because they didn't give the reaction that women wanted them to give, you know, dealing with the actual situation. Because when you hear, like you said, they were joking, somebody check on Deja and all this other stuff. It's kind of like, it's like if Lip Service took down an episode about Tank and Two Dicks.
It was taken out of context, though.
It was definitely taken out of context, but I'm saying like in regards to how Angela Yee, you know, how she just presented, okay, so if you do suck a dick, he ain't gay. Like, ultimately, if that had came from anybody else, specifically a black man, it would have instantly been seen as homophobic. You know what I'm saying? And then how they reacted to how to what Tank was saying, it would have, they did get some backlash for it, but not as much as Tank got, obviously. But that's like her deleting that episode because they didn't handle it the way that society wants them to handle it. And that's for them to stand up and say, yeah, you're right. That's not gay. That's not, you know, that's just experimenting. Like they didn't handle it the way that society would want them to handle it. So in that aspect, she doesn't lose her integrity because she stayed true to what the conversation was. You can have a follow-up conversation in the next episode and just go from there. Yeah. So to know that they did some shit like that, like, this would have been y'all biggest episode.
Yeah.
You did some shit like that and you pulled that from I no longer trust you because that shows me you don't have the balls to do what it takes, you know, to make it successful.
Clout. You in it for the clout.
Exactly. You're just doing it for the follows, but now they gonna fuck up their bag.
They are
going that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, shit, we'll see what happens. See, this is why the Noize is probably one of the greatest podcasts out there because we went from polyamorous relationships to 15 dudes in a circle jacking each other off to a real parenting episode. This was
I keep trying to tell y'all, we got the product.
We got it. We got it.
We got soda. The product.
I got baking soda.
Right.
I do want to talk about one thing though before we wrap up here. We are about an hour, a little over an hour in. This could be a quick one unless you got something else. But one of the things that we were touching on was the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Wait, before we get to that, because it is the next thing, the thing I have written down here, it was just like it wasn't even to dive in, like it was just like real quick. So we seen Drake is getting into the cannabis industry, right?
I haven't. I was actually going to.
It said he was getting into the cannabis industry, and I think his strain or whatever was called More Life. I just want to know what you guys' weed name strain would be. That's all I want to know. Like if you could start a industry, what would your strain be called?
Well, I have not.
And what would it be?
It'll be some form of cookies. Some form of cookies or some
would that be a indica or sativa?
That'd be indica.
Really?
Yeah, it'd be some form of cookies or some form of kush, one or the other. But as far as a name, I don't know.
You, Rach?
I got mine would be called Manifest Destiny, and it'd be like, you know, weed you smoke when you sit down and meditate, and it just takes you to a higher conscious level.
No, I don't know. I've never smoked and meditated before, so I wouldn't know that. That sounds like a sativa.
I don't know the lingos.
I would never say that's a sativa.
Sounds like
that's for
sativa.
sure an upper. Yeah. If somebody's sitting around meditating, I think when indica, you close your eyes. That's that.
That's it. Yeah.
Go to sleep. That's
high, hungry, happy. That's it.
That's the whole nine. What would you call yours, Kev?
Shit, I didn't expect.
Well, you didn't want the question back.
I didn't expect.
How you gonna ask the question? But now I
knew it was coming
ready.
back. I'll call mine Hollywood Nights.
Okay. What would it be?
Probably a hybrid.
Okay.
Probably a hybrid. Because sometimes I'd be like, because I would want you to sit down and think. You know what I mean? So probably a hybrid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll rock with that.
I feel like I couldn't take like the I couldn't take the Wiz Khalifa route. How you got Khalifa Kush gonna be like Carlos Kush, and then Los Cookies just sounds very off. So shit, I don't know.
Los cookies. Get some of these cookies.
Get some of Los cookies. Like
that sounds sexual.
That sounds like something T.I. is checking for. Yeah,
we're gonna check these cookies out.
But I don't know. That's a damn good. And you know what's funny? You know it's gonna pop up towards the end of this episode.
Of course.
I'm gonna be doing the outros. Like, aha! What we call these. But great question.
Yeah, I'll just see.
So Hollywood Nights and
Manifest
Destiny. Wasn't that a slave ship or like a freedom boat?
It was when people moved west.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. So I was like, okay, so you gonna smoke this and be free, huh?
Right. If I'm moving west, I don't want no indica. That's a sativa. That's a sativa.
If I'm moving west as a passenger, I want an indica, nigga. I'm sleeping.
As a passenger,
Oregon Trail.
Hey, bro, I'm in the wagon.
I'm in the back.
I'm in the wagon, folks. Just real quick. So Popeyes is back. The chicken sandwich is back. It's crazy because normally when you see these kind of reemerging social media hype restaurant shit, it don't just pick up where it left off. And we even had the conversation about it. When they bring it back, it's not going to be as big as it was, and we were fucking wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong about that. Shit, it might have been bigger.
It's probably bigger because niggas have died over Popeyes.
Well, no, see, did you look into that story? Like, really look into that story?
Well, no, I'm going to get to that. I was just fucking around.
Bro.
But it's because we had this conversation because everyone has been saying, y'all really doing this over a sandwich? Like, it's not about the sandwich. It's the people.
Yeah. Not even that.
It's the people and the interactions.
I think from what I've heard with that particular situation was like those two people already had beef.
Right.
And one just got caught slipping and it just so happens they was in Popeyes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the people.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I have seen videos, like I seen it with the white people, where they go in there and you go into this black establishment just saying the N-word.
And I was just about to say that.
That's the lady that got body slammed?
Yeah. Well, I seen that today. Like, even I was like, oh my God.
It was a lady that got body slammed for chucking up the N-word. It was a old white guy that got beat the shit out of inside the actual Popeyes, had him apologizing on the ground and shit.
Honestly,
like
I don't have a problem with it.
I'm not mad.
I'm not mad at it at all.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Oh, go ahead.
What's the guy's name? Yurima. Is it Yurima Karima? That's what he.
Yeah.
Well, he's a conscious guy. He's Yurima Karama. This guy right here. He posted the video and he was like,
he looked woke.
He's very woke. he
brothers.
He was basically like, look, we getting tired of y'all bullshit.
Yeah.
And at some point, like, it has to be. It got to be some sort of like consequences for y'all shit.
Right.
And you can't just keep walking up in here thinking that you can say and do whatever you want to do and not get dealt with.
Right.
And yes, she may probably sue Popeyes, and yes, this person might go to jail, but somebody got to be sacrificed so these people can stop doing what they do. When will you get the point? Because they asked her to leave the establishment and she was basically like, no. And they was like, well, we're going to call the cops. She's like, that's my family. Oh.
Okay.
Before
your family get here, though.
Okay.
We gonna make sure Big Brother take good care of you.
You over here in this candy cap lane fucked up now.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey.
And like, obviously we talked about it when it was buzzing the first time around. I caught it during that cool little no car moment. I was able to get my chicken sandwich without having to wait more than 20 goddamn minutes. It's so much being put on to black people like we're the ones out here just tripping. Because every video I've seen, at least this time around, has not been us. Is another video where the two cars are literally crashing into each other.
Yeah, I seen that trying to get
to the fucking speaker. The one that's kind of coming in from an off way, who ultimately isn't even in the little drive.
Yeah, they're not even in the lane. Yeah,
they're coming from an off way and they're scratching up the whole right side of their car on the divider.
Are you doing all this for a piece of chicken?
For some chicken, bro. And then what if you get the sandwich and it's garbage?
Honestly, I don't want the sandwich. I've never wanted
the whole
the sandwich.
side just for that. Hey, again, the sandwich is
good, but at the time,
they ain't stab worthy.
The beginning of I understand the beginning of it, but now I'm looking like, come on, something just don't seem right to me.
Right,
like
population control.
Oh yeah,
it just don't seem right. Like how I look at it. Okay, y'all bring this sandwich out, and y'all seen it was a craze within like the first couple of days. So at that point, if I'm the owner or the manager, at that point I'm on the phone like, yo, we might need some more chicken.
Right.
So y'all don't do that. Y'all run out. Y'all out for however many months, and then y'all come back.
I don't understand how you run out of.
That's what I'm
saying. But it's all in the marketing. Them cool little words, limited time only. Motherfuckers want to make that limited time only. Like it's like when Rick and Morty made Szechuan sauce popular again, and that's originally from the Mulan movie all those years ago. Once that shit came back, McDonald's was popping.
True.
Everybody was trying to run to get, to get the damn dipping sauce. And because they know that these joints sell out so quick, motherfuckers was flocking to do it. But you look at those lines and you compare them to the Chick-fil-A lines. You compare them to, what's the spot here? In-N-Out. You compare it to those lines.
In-N-Out always has lines though.
Yeah. So does Chick-fil-A. That's what I'm saying. They always have a line, but yeah, you don't hear about none of that bullshit there.
Right.
It's because
Chick-fil-A got the best customer service ever.
You feel me? And they'll pray for you.
So many sauces.
You know what I'm saying? They love you over at Chick-fil-A.
I fucks them.
Yeah. But because Popeyes has created an urgency that social media has hyped up. Oh shit! I gotta get there before they run out tonight, or I gotta get there before they run out next week. It's only limited time only.
I just don't understand what.
I think right now it's a consumer craze. Like we've seen before. Absolutely. It just so happens that this one is food related. I mean, we seen. Remember Furbies?
I remember. I didn't have one.
Yeah, of course. We didn't have one.
Right.
Pets.
But the shit that
I
they
had one, and I went to school with people that had like 13 pets. I'm like, fuck.
Right. The shit that we had at, or that they
all
had
them still alive. Goddamn.
The shit that they brought back, or they had at McDonald's, or what was it, like teeny babies or some shit?
Beanie Babies?
There we
Babies,
go.
yeah.
Them shits.
Yeah.
I knew my best friend's mom at the time. His mom like had all of them.
Yeah, I remember those.
Tickle Me Elmo. So it's a consumer craze.
Beanie
So
Babies is the original cats for single women.
maybe. so I get that, but at the same time, I just don't trust. Like I just don't trust.
I've
it, man.
never been the crazed consumer
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
been like, oh my God, it's limited. Let me go get it. Let me
Especially
stand
for
in
some
line.
shit you only gonna mess with for a week and it's gonna be done or eat that day.
Yeah,
Then
That's
what?
pretty much that, right?
No, I mean,
And then what makes me ear about the sandwiches? I've seen the people that I've seen mixed. I've seen people say it doesn't taste the same. I've seen people say it do. But the people that like it, they always say, "Yeah, I'm craving for another sandwich."
it's a problem. Something in that sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like
But
I
this
know
time
crack
around-
when I see it.
This time around, wasn't it like a couple of salmonella cases?
I think
too?
that was a rumor. Like,
I don't know.
It was an article, but then it said it was a rumor. But so I don't know.
But then there was also a picture of them placing a tray on top of a trash can while they folding up the sandwiches because, obviously that work, that blue magic is making its way through.
Oh,
So they got to have some space to, saying like wrap up the sandwiches and shit. Like this time around, it's been a lot more damaging to Popeyes. But because the average social media consumer, the FOMO people,
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like,
These
nah, I'm
people
still-
just want to get a sandwich.
Somebody
so they
got
can take a
stabbed for
fucking
this
picture.
sandwich. He fucked up his car for this sandwich. This dude went straight racist for this sandwich. I want the fucking sandwich. I got to see what everybody's losing their mind
cool
over.
with
I'm
the,
cool
the
on that
red beans
steroid
and
chicken.
rice.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
good.
the red beans and rice is pretty good, but
Fire.
I don't know.
Nah, I'm good. I don't want. I can go another 20 years. You ever tried the Popeye chicken sandwich?
No,
No,
I'm not eating that
I'm
chicken.
good. I'm not touching it. Like I'm good.
There's this meme that was like, I guess they ordered Grubhub for Popeye's chicken, and they got a box full of biscuits. It was like so fucking mad right now.
Hey, people are trying to cheat the system with like Uber Eats and Grubhub. Now you bring that to me, and then you get that shit pop up and they tell you it's a 2-hour wait time for that shit. Like, nah, you got to wait in line, brother. We got about 30 people in line right now.
Hell no.
I just want to know when they do make it a regular part of their menu, because it's going to happen. Are the Popeyes lines going to become Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out's lines?
I think if it's not limited,
I don't
it
think
might.
so.
I just can't imagine. The only reason. It's not that can't be that good. Like I'm just so confused. It just makes me so mad.
It's social media.
I don't
Social
think
media has
so.
made it better.
I
Social media has
mean,
made it better.
I
That's
don't think
all.
so. And if it does, then I'm really gonna be like, "Hey, yo, something in that chicken." Because let's say they do make it part of their regular menu. That means you can go to it pretty much open and close. So if your lines are 2-hour wait times, you know what I mean? I'm assuming that it must be like some of the same people coming.
Oh, of course.
So that lets me know, like, yo,
There's
something in that chicken. For, you know what I mean?
You ever
Like,
had PDQs?
I did.
That's the
I
chicken
like
strip joint,
PDQs,
right?
but they closed down.
They did?
The closest one to me closed down.
Oh, my daughter used to love that place.
I think it was PDQs, but they used to bring the chicken strips at Hustlers on their Sundays when they have
Oh,
a open
really?
bar. Yeah, and the shit used to be fire.
They
They
were
are
good.
they're the chicken strip spot.
Yeah,
right?
they were good.
Yeah.
It was all chicken. They were
PDQs is
good,
fire.
but I just don't think they got like business like that. At least the one by me
They
didn't
had
get
really
business
good
like that. So.
customer service too. One day, my daughter got a T-shirt. I was like, "Hey,
Because they
Hey.
barely getting customers.
Right.
Well, let me come hug you. Hold on.
Right. Please.
Come here.
Please buy something.
Right. What do you want? Do you want a lot? You sure?
you want a lot?" Yep.
But I mean, this is the opportunity for other spots with the chicken sandwiches to pop up and do their thing. I've been seeing a lot of black-owned businesses, which of course they don't get shared that often because they're black-owned businesses. They're popping up with kind of their own version of it. It sucks we don't have anything out here really like that. I know we do have some black-owned restaurants,
It's
but
a bunch of them.
But it seems like you don't see them pubbed all like that. Like you kind of have to be inside,
Yeah.
to really understand,
I
where
think-
they are. And the majority of them are like soul food spots at that.
But a lot of them aren't, and I only know this from working directly with these restaurants recently. There are right here in Vegas. There's over 50 black-owned restaurants, and what was crazy was there was one right down the street from me, and it's not even really soul food. Like they sell like I don't know, it's chicken and waffles, soul food. They sell these loaded potatoes. It's kind of like a variety of food. But I think the biggest thing is just not knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
And because some of these restaurants are tucked away, they're not on main streets because main streets cost more money. So they're kind of sometimes tucked away in these little shopping centers, and you got to know about them.
Right.
So I think it's more so lack of awareness.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
I'm like, how did I live down the street from this
I
place?
never knew.
Yeah, but
that makes
that's
sense.
pretty much what I was saying. Like we don't seem to push it all like that. Or then somebody would have like a bad experience at one, and all of a sudden, oh man, I ain't fucking with.
yeah.
I ain't
That's a
fucking
whole
with none of
different
that.
conversation with black people.
Oh yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
You see motherfuckers get stabbed at Popeyes, but we still in the line.
Right.
Right.
You still, they're
But oh, this
exploiting
nigga
your
didn't bring me a
ass.
napkin. Oh, fuck this establishment.
Right.
Fuck M&M's looking ass. Well, we've gotten some time in. So with that being said, Rach, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Rach is going to give you at least one mic hit
Sorry.
every time.
I'm sorry. I really be trying not to.
Normally I go in there and edit them out. I'm going to leave that one there. I'm just playing.
That's her signature.
Exactly. That's the sign off. Rach da Gem. Letting people know where they can find you at.
Follow me on Rach da Gem on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow Melanin Blvd, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And listen every Thursday on all podcast streaming platforms. Melanin Blvd.
Kev, you've told them for 3 years. Might as well.
Right. How was going to ask you to do? We still got to do this.
Well, then again, you've also changed your social media quite a few times.
No,
in the
see,
3
you
years.
exaggerating.
Okay,
Because I ain't
left,
changed.
right,
No.
up, down,
I
down.
have not done that.
NBA.
Don't try it.
Kev's social media names are fucking cheat codes.
No.
Turbo Plus.
Kev's social media
No.
names how you get unlimited weapons in
No.
GTA.
No, my Twitter, Hollywood Kev _ 2 underscores. And my Instagram is _Hollywood Kev _
Yes, sir. At Big Los IG on IG, Big Los 89 on Snapchat. Of course, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Noize Podcast. And of course, you can follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. Also follow the social media pages. I think it's just at Beat Network on IG, at Beat _Network on Twitter, and and Facebook.com/Beat Network 1. Follow everything we're doing, man. We got some really dope shit coming up. Some original content's on its way out. You should see promo for that pretty soon, but we'll definitely talk about it more so on the show next week once everything is out and about. Again, Rach, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you joining the team.
Thanks,
It's
guys.
always been family. I'm glad that we can officially
I
call
fit
it
right
that.
in.
Absolutely. It's a bunch of assholes. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate the support. And as always, it's Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
It's The Noize.
And Rach da Gem.
Echo.